Act up. Meaning, to misbehave or malfunction. Example, my computer always acts up when I'm in a hurry. Example, the children tend to act up when they're tired. Act upon. Meaning, to take action based on information or a suggestion. Example, the manager will act upon the recommendations. Example, it's crucial to act upon the advice given by the experts. Add up. Meaning, to calculate the total. Example, please add up the expenses for the month. Example, the numbers don't add up, there seems to be a mistake. Add up to. Meaning, to result in a certain total. Example, his excuses don't add up to a plausible explanation. Example, the damages add up to a significant amount. Back up. Meaning, to support or confirm. Example, can you back up your argument with evidence? Example, the data from the study backs up our hypothesis. Bail up. Meaning, to rob or demand money from someone. Example, the masked robber bailed up the store clerk. Example, they were bailed up by a group of thugs in the alley. Ball up. Meaning, to confuse or make a mistake. Example, I managed to ball up the instructions and got lost. Example, don't ball up the process, follow the steps carefully. Balls up. Meaning, to make a mess or error. Example, he really ballsed up the presentation with those mistakes. Example, she's worried she might balls up the important project. Bang up. Meaning, to damage or injure. Example, the car accident banged up the front bumper. Example, he got banged up in the rough sports game. Bash up. Meaning, to beat or assault someone. Example, the gang decided to bash up the rival group members. Example, he got bashed up in a street fight. Be cut up. Meaning, to be emotionally distressed. Example, she was really cut up about the criticism she received. Example, he looked cut up after the argument with his friend. Be fed up. Meaning, to be discontented or annoyed. Example, I'm fed up with the constant delays in this project. Example, she's fed up with the lack of communication from her team. Be up. meaning, to be awake or out of bed. Example, I'll be up early to catch the morning flight. Example, are you planning to be up for the sunrise tomorrow? Be up for, meaning, to be willing or enthusiastic about something. Example, I'm up for trying the new restaurant downtown. Example, are you up for a challenging hike this weekend? Be up to, meaning, to be engaged in or responsible for something. Example, what have you been up to lately? Example, I'm up to my neck in work this week. Bear up, meaning, to endure or cope with difficulties. Example, the team needs to bear up under the pressure of the upcoming match. Example, despite the challenges, she managed to bear up and complete the project. Bear up under, meaning, to withstand or endure pressure or challenges. Example, the structure needs to bear up under extreme weather conditions. Example, it's impressive how she can bear up under such stressful situations. Beat up, meaning, to physically assault or harm someone. Example, the bullies decided to beat up the new student after school. Example, he got beaten up in a bar fight last night. Beef up, meaning, to strengthen or reinforce. Example, the security measures need to be beefed up to prevent unauthorized access. Example, he decided to beef up his resume with additional certifications. Belt up, meaning, to fasten one's seat belt or secure something with a belt. Example, make sure to belt up before we start the car. Example, the luggage wasn't properly belted up, and it fell during the journey. Big up, meaning, to praise or promote enthusiastically. Example, let me big up our amazing team for their hard work. Example, the manager decided to big up the achievements of the employees. Bitch up, meaning, to complain or criticize excessively. Example, don't bitch up the situation, find a solution instead. Example, he tends to bitch up every project, making collaboration difficult. Block up, meaning, to become clogged or obstructed. Example, the drain tends to block up during heavy rains. Example, be cautious, the pipes may block up if you dispose of grease improperly. Blow up, meaning, to explode or inflate suddenly. Example, the scientists decided to blow up the balloon for the experiment. Example, the factory suffered a major explosion, causing it to blow up. Board up. Meaning, to cover or seal a window or door with boards. Example, before the hurricane, they had to board up all the windows. Example, the abandoned building was boarded up to deter vandals. Boil up. Meaning, to come to a boil or be brought to a boiling point. Example, the soup will need a few more minutes to boil up. Example, as the temperature rose, the emotions began to boil up. Bolster up. Meaning, to support or strengthen. Example, we need to bolster up the team's morale during challenging times. Example, a strong foundation will bolster up the structure against earthquakes. Bone up. Meaning, to study or review intensively. Example, he decided to bone up on the subject before the exam. Example, before the interview, she spent hours boning up on the company's history. Bone up on. Meaning, to study or review intensively. Example, you should bone up on the new software to stay ahead. Example, she decided to bone up on her language skills before the international conference. Book up. Meaning, to reserve or fill all available spaces. Example, the popular restaurant tends to book up quickly on weekends. Example, make sure to book up your tickets for the concert before they sell out. Boot up. Meaning, to start or initialize a computer. Example, it takes a few minutes to boot up the computer and be ready for use. Example, he decided to boot up his laptop and begin working on the presentation. Botch up. Meaning, to mess up or handle poorly. Example, unfortunately, they managed to botch up the crucial presentation. Example, don't botch up the project by neglecting important details. Bottle up. Meaning, to suppress or keep emotions or feelings inside. Example, it's not healthy to bottle up your frustration, express it constructively. Example, she tends to bottle up her emotions instead of sharing them with others. Box up. Meaning, to pack or place items in a box. Example, before moving, they needed to box up all their belongings. Example, the team decided to box up the office supplies for the upcoming renovation. Brace up. Meaning, to prepare mentally or emotionally. Example, brace up, the challenging task ahead requires focus and determination. Example, he needed to brace up for the difficult conversation with his colleagues. Break up. Meaning, to end a relationship or disband a group. Example, they decided to break up after years of being together. Example, the band chose to break up due to creative differences. Brighten up. Meaning, to become more cheerful or optimistic. Example, the sunny weather tends to brighten up everyone's mood. Example, a positive attitude can brighten up even the gloomiest situations. Bring up. Meaning, to raise or mention a topic in conversation. Example, she didn't want to bring up the sensitive issue during the family dinner. Example, the manager decided to bring up the proposal in the next team meeting. Brush up. Meaning, to improve or refresh one's skills or knowledge. Example, she decided to brush up on her language skills before the overseas trip. Example, it's always good to brush up on your resume before a job interview. Buck up. Meaning, to encourage or cheer up someone. Example, come on, buck up. We'll get through this difficult time together. Example, his friends tried to buck him up after the disappointing result. Buckle up. Meaning, to fasten a seat belt. Example, before driving, make sure to buckle up for safety. Example, passengers are reminded to buckle up before the plane takes off. Budge up. Meaning, to move or make space for someone. Example, can you budge up a bit? I need some room on the bench. Example, they had to budge up to fit everyone around the small table. Buff up. Meaning, to enhance or improve the appearance or condition. Example, he decided to buff up his resume before applying for the job. Example, the team worked hard to buff up the presentation for the important meeting. Buff up on. Meaning, to study or refresh one's knowledge on a topic. Example, she spent the weekend buffing up on the subject before the exam. Example, if you're unsure, take some time to buff up on the new software features. Build up. Meaning, to accumulate or increase gradually. Example, regular exercise helps build up endurance over time. Example, the team's efforts to build up their online presence paid off with increased followers. Bulk up. Meaning, to increase in size or muscle mass. Example, bodybuilders often follow strict diets to bulk up before competitions. Example, the athlete worked hard to bulk up for the upcoming season. Bump up. Meaning, to increase or raise something. Example, the company decided to bump up the salaries to attract top talent. Example, the unexpected demand caused them to bump up production to meet orders. Bundle up. Meaning, to dress warmly, usually in layers. Example, it's cold outside, make sure to bundle up before going out. Example, she bundled up in a cozy sweater and scarf for the winter walk. Buoy up. Meaning, to uplift or support someone emotionally. Example, the encouraging words from friends helped buoy her up during tough times. Example, the positive feedback helped buoy up the team's morale. Burn up. Meaning, to consume or destroy by fire. Example, the wildfire continues to burn up vast areas of the forest. Example, the house fire threatened to burn up their belongings. Bust up. Meaning, to break into pieces or destroy. Example, the vandals decided to bust up the public sculpture in the park. Example, the earthquake caused the old bridge to bust up, disrupting traffic. Butter up. Meaning, to flatter or praise someone excessively. Example, she decided to butter up the boss before asking for a favor. Example, the politician tried to butter up the voters with promises of positive change. Buy up. Meaning, to purchase a large quantity of something. Example, investors tend to buy up stocks when the market is favorable. Example, the new gadget was so popular that customers rushed to buy up the available stock. Call up. Meaning, to contact or telephone someone. Example, I'll call up the restaurant to make a reservation. Example, she decided to call up her friend to discuss the upcoming plans. Carve up. Meaning, to divide or cut into pieces. Example, the chef decided to carve up the large roast to serve individual portions. Example, the political leaders were accused of trying to carve up the country for personal gain. Cash up. Meaning, to count or calculate the amount of money received. Example, the cashier had to cash up at the end of the day to reconcile the accounts. Example, it's important to cash up regularly to ensure accuracy in financial records. Cast up. Meaning, to calculate or add up figures. Example, he had to cast up the expenses before submitting the financial report. Example, the accountant decided to cast up the profits for the quarter. Catch up. Meaning, to reach the same level or pace as someone or something. Example, after falling behind, he had to run faster to catch up with the group. Example, the team worked overtime to catch up with the project timeline. Catch up in. Meaning, to become involved or updated in a particular area. Example, she decided to catch up in the latest developments in the field. Example, it's essential to catch up in the industry trends to stay competitive. Catch up on. Meaning, to update oneself on something missed or neglected. Example, during the vacation, she had time to catch up on her favorite novels. Example, if you miss a class, make sure to catch up on the lecture notes. Catch up with. Meaning, to reach and surpass someone or something. Example, the runner pushed harder to catch up with the leader in the race. Example, the company invested in technology to catch up with its competitors. Chalk up. Meaning, to attribute success or achievement to a particular factor. Example, the team can chalk up the victory to their strong collaboration. Example, she was quick to chalk up her success to the guidance of her mentor. Chalk up to. Meaning, to attribute something to a specific cause or reason. Example, they decided to chalk up the increased productivity to the new software. Example, it's important to chalk up success to the collective efforts of the team. Chance upon. Meaning, to find or encounter something by luck or chance. Example, during the hike, they chanced upon a hidden waterfall in the forest. Example, he never expected to chance upon an old friend in the bustling city. Charge up. Meaning, to recharge or fill with energy. Example, make sure to charge up your phone before the long journey. Example, the team took a break to charge up and refocus for the second half of the game. Chase up. Meaning, to follow up or pursue something diligently. Example, the manager decided to chase up the delayed shipment with the supplier. Example, make sure to chase up on the unanswered emails to avoid any delays. Chat up. Meaning, to engage in friendly conversation with someone, often with romantic intent. Example, he tried to chat up the person sitting next to him at the bar. Example, the friendly bartender decided to chat up the new customer to make them feel welcome. Cheer up. Meaning, to become or make someone more cheerful or optimistic. Example, the surprise visit from a friend helped cheer her up during a tough time. Example, it's important to cheer up colleagues when they are feeling stressed or down. Chew up. Meaning, to grind or tear into small pieces using the teeth. Example, the old machine tends to chew up paper if not properly maintained. Example, the dog managed to chew up the homework, creating quite a predicament. Choke up. Meaning, to become emotional and have difficulty speaking. Example, when receiving the award, she couldn't help but choke up with gratitude. Example, the heartfelt farewell speech made many audience members choke up. Choose up. Meaning, to select or pick individuals for a team or task. Example, the team captain decided to choose up players for the upcoming match. Example, the schoolyard game required the students to choose up partners. Chop up. Meaning, to cut into smaller pieces. Example, before cooking, it's necessary to chop up the vegetables into bite-sized pieces. Example, the chef demonstrated how to chop up the ingredients for the salad. Chuck up. Meaning, to vomit or throw up. Example, the roller coaster ride made her feel nauseous, and she had to chuck up. Example, if you feel sick, it's better to chuck up and relieve the discomfort. Clag up. Meaning, to become sticky or clogged. Example, the machinery clagged up due to the accumulation of dust and debris. Example, avoid using products that can clog up the pipes and cause plumbing issues. Clam up. Meaning, to become silent or refuse to talk. Example, the witness decided to clam up during the interrogation, fearing repercussions. Example, children may clam up if they feel pressured or judged during a conversation. Clean up. Meaning, to make tidy or organized. Example, after the party, it took hours to clean up the confetti and decorations. Example, the volunteers joined forces to clean up the park during the community event. Clear up. Meaning, to become clearer or resolve. Example, the sky started to clear up after the storm passed. Example, hopefully, the misunderstanding will clear up after a sincere conversation. Clog up. Meaning, to become blocked or obstructed. Example, the drain started to clog up due to the accumulation of debris. Example, avoid using products that can clog up the pores and cause skin issues. Close in upon. Meaning, to surround or encircle closely. Example, the enemy troops decided to close in upon the isolated outpost. Example, the dense forest seemed to close in upon the explorers as they ventured deeper. Close up. Meaning, to shut or fasten something, or to approach and seal. Example, make sure to close up the windows before leaving the house. Example, the flowers close up at night and bloom again in the morning. Cock up. Meaning, to make a mistake or mess up a situation. Example, due to a communication error, the team managed to cock up the entire project. Example, it's essential to communicate clearly to avoid cocking up important tasks. Color up. Meaning, to improve or enhance something, often by adding positive elements. Example, the additional decorations will color up the party and create a festive atmosphere. Example, adding artwork to the room can color up the dull walls and make it more vibrant. Come down upon. Meaning, to criticize or reprimand strongly. Example, the teacher had to come down upon the students for disruptive behavior. Example, authorities will come down upon anyone violating safety regulations. Come up. Meaning, to be mentioned or discussed. Example, the issue of budget constraints will likely come up during the meeting. Example, important matters may come up in conversation that require attention. Come up against. Meaning, to encounter or face difficulties or challenges. Example, the project team is likely to come up against unforeseen obstacles. Example, entrepreneurs often come up against various challenges while building their businesses. Come up with. Meaning, to produce an idea, solution, or plan. Example, the team had to come up with innovative strategies to meet the tight deadline. Example, can you come up with a proposal for the new project by tomorrow? Conjure up. Meaning, to create or imagine something vividly. Example, the storyteller had the ability to conjure up fantastical worlds with words. Example, closing her eyes, she tried to conjure up the image of a peaceful beach. Coop up. Meaning, to confine or restrict someone or something in a small space. Example, animals should not be cooped up in small cages without room to move. Example, the long flight cooped up in a cramped seat left her feeling exhausted. Cost up. Meaning, to calculate the total cost of something. Example, the finance team needed to cost up the expenses for the upcoming project. Example, before making a purchase, it's important to cost up the potential long-term expenses. Cough up. Meaning, to reluctantly give or pay something, especially money. Example, he had to cough up a significant amount to repair the damage to the car. Example, the company had to cough up compensation for the affected customers. Count up. Meaning, to accumulate or add up to a total. Example, the donations started to count up, bringing the charity closer to its goal. Example, as the votes were counted up, the winner of the election became clear. Count upon. Meaning, to rely or depend on someone or something. Example, in challenging times, you can count upon your friends for support. Example, it's essential to have systems in place that you can count upon during emergencies. Cover up. Meaning, to conceal or hide something. Example, the attempt to cover up the scandal only intensified public scrutiny. Example, it's not advisable to cover up mistakes. Transparency fosters trust in relationships. Cozy up. Meaning, to get comfortable or familiar with someone. Example, the cat decided to cozy up on the warm blanket during the cold evening. Example, networking events are an opportunity to cozy up to influential professionals. Cozy up to. Meaning, to seek the favor or friendship of someone. Example, the ambitious intern tried to cozy up to the CEO in hopes of career advancement. Example, people may cozy up to those in power to gain access to better opportunities. Crack up. Meaning, to burst into laughter or break into pieces. Example, the comedian's jokes made the entire audience crack up with laughter. Example, unfortunately, the old vase accidentally fell and cracked up into fragments. Crank up. Meaning, to increase the intensity, volume, or activity. Example, let's crank up the music and get the party started. Example, the team decided to crank up their efforts to meet the tight deadline. Creep up on. Meaning, to approach quietly or unexpectedly. Example, the cat managed to creep up on the bird without being noticed. Example, challenges can sometimes creep up on us when we least expect them. Crop up. Meaning, to appear or happen unexpectedly. Example, unexpected issues can crop up during the implementation of a new system. Example, opportunities may crop up when you least expect them, so stay alert. Cross up. Meaning, to confuse or complicate. Example, mixing up the instructions can cross up even experienced individuals. Example, the unexpected changes in the project plan crossed up the entire team. Cut up. Meaning, to chop or slice into smaller pieces. Example, the chef skillfully cut up the vegetables for the stir-fry dish. Example, before serving, the cake needs to be cut up into equal portions for everyone. Decide upon. Meaning, to agree or choose after consultation or discussion. Example, the team needed to decide upon a strategy for the upcoming project. Example, couples often need to decide upon shared goals and plans for the future. Dig up. Meaning, to unearth or discover information or objects. Example, archaeologists hope to dig up ancient artifacts in the excavation site. Example, journalists often dig up background information for in-depth investigative reports. Dish up. Meaning, to serve or present food, especially in a particular way. Example, the chef skillfully dished up the gourmet meal for the guests. Example, it's time to dish up the spaghetti and enjoy a hearty dinner. Divide up. Meaning, to separate or distribute into portions. Example, let's divide up the tasks evenly among team members for efficiency. Example, after the harvest, farmers gather to divide up the produce among themselves. Divvy up. Meaning, to distribute or share something among multiple people. Example, friends decided to divvy up the cost of the road trip to make it more affordable. Example, the siblings agreed to divvy up the responsibilities of caring for their aging parents. Do up. Meaning, to fasten, close, or decorate something. Example, before leaving the house, make sure to do up your coat, it's cold outside. Example, she decided to do up the room with vibrant colors and stylish furniture. Double up. Meaning, to share accommodations with someone or serve a dual purpose. Example, due to limited space, they had to double up in hotel rooms during the trip. Example, the spare room can double up as a home office or a guest bedroom. Double up as. Meaning, to serve two functions or roles simultaneously. Example, the sofa can double up as a comfortable bed for overnight guests. Example, her expertise in marketing allows her to double up as a strategic consultant. Draw up. Meaning, to create or formulate a plan, document, or agreement. Example, the legal team was tasked to draw up the contract for the business partnership. Example, architects were hired to draw up the plans for the new office building. Dream up. Meaning, to invent or create something through imagination. Example, the author had to dream up an entirely new world for the fantasy novel. Example, innovators often dream up groundbreaking ideas that revolutionize industries. Dredge up. Meaning, to bring up or uncover something from the past. Example, the documentary aimed to dredge up forgotten stories from history. Example, gossip columns often dredge up old scandals to create sensational news. Dress up. Meaning, to wear formal or stylish clothing. Example, they decided to dress up for the fancy dinner celebration. Example, the children enjoyed the opportunity to dress up in costumes for the school play. Drink up. Meaning, to consume a beverage quickly or finish it. Example, the host encouraged everyone to drink up and enjoy the festivities. Example, in hot weather, it's important to stay hydrated and drink up regularly. Drive up. Meaning, to increase or raise, especially prices or demand. Example, high demand for a product can drive up its market price. Example, the promotion was designed to drive up interest and participation in the event. Drum up. Meaning, to generate or create interest or support for something. Example, the marketing team worked hard to drum up excitement for the upcoming product launch. Example, the charity event aimed to drum up donations for a worthy cause. Dry up. Meaning, to lose the ability to speak or find oneself at a loss for words. Example, the nervous speaker began to dry up mid-presentation, forgetting the key points. Example, it's not uncommon for performers to dry up on stage during high-pressure moments. Duff up. Meaning, to beat up or physically assault someone. Example, the bullies decided to duff up the new student in a misguided display of dominance. Example, law enforcement takes action against those who attempt to duff up innocent citizens. Dwell upon. Meaning, to contemplate or think deeply about something. Example, authors often dwell upon the complexities of human nature in their literary works. Example, philosophers may dwell upon existential questions as they explore the nature of existence. Ease up. Meaning, to become less strict or harsh, or to lessen pressure or intensity. Example, the coach decided to ease up on the training regimen to prevent burnout. Example, as the storm passed, the rain began to ease up, providing relief to residents. Eat up. Meaning, to consume all of something, often with enthusiasm. Example, the kids were so hungry that they decided to eat up all the pizza. Example, the success of the new product launch encouraged customers to eat up the available inventory. Edge up. Meaning, to gradually increase or move upward slightly. Example, the temperature is expected to edge up as we approach the summer months. Example, investors hope that the stock prices will edge up in the coming weeks. Embark upon. Meaning, to start or undertake a new and significant activity or venture. Example, the team decided to embark upon a research project to explore innovative solutions. Example, entrepreneurs often face uncertainty when they embark upon new business ventures. End up. Meaning, to eventually reach a particular state or outcome, often unintentionally. Example, despite initial plans, the road trip may end up taking longer than expected. Example, sometimes, unplanned events can lead you to end up in unexpected but positive situations. End up with. Meaning, to have as a final result or possession. Example, after the auction, he was surprised to end up with a valuable piece of artwork. Example, life is full of surprises, you may end up with opportunities you never imagined. Eye up. Meaning, to examine or observe someone or something with interest or desire. Example, at the art gallery, visitors often eye up the paintings before making a purchase. Example, it's not uncommon for competitors to eye up each other's strategies in the business world. Face up to. Meaning, to confront or accept a difficult or challenging situation. Example, it's essential to face up to the truth, even if it means acknowledging mistakes. Example, overcoming personal fears requires the courage to face up to one's insecurities. Fasten up. Meaning, to secure with fasteners or close tightly. Example, before starting the journey, remember to fasten up your seat belt for safety. Example, the tailor worked diligently to fasten up the intricate buttons on the custom-made dress. Feed up. Meaning, to provide abundant food or nourishment. Example, after a day of strenuous physical activity, the athletes were eager to feed up on a hearty meal. Example, parents aim to feed up their growing children with a balanced and nutritious diet. Feel up. Meaning, to touch or handle someone inappropriately and without consent. Example, it's crucial to respect personal boundaries and never attempt to feel up someone without consent. Example, unwanted advances and attempts to feel up individuals are clear violations of personal space. Feel up to. Meaning, to be physically or emotionally capable of doing something. Example, after recovering from the illness, she wasn't sure if she would feel up to attending the event. Example, it's important to assess whether you feel up to taking on additional responsibilities before committing. Fess up. Meaning, to admit or confess to something, often a mistake or wrongdoing. Example, it's essential to fess up when you make a mistake and take responsibility for your actions. Example, the child decided to fess up about breaking the vase, realizing honesty was the best policy. Fess up to. Meaning, to openly admit or confess to something, acknowledging responsibility. Example, facing consequences is part of growth, and it's crucial to fess up to mistakes. Example, in therapy, individuals may fess up to deep-seated emotions for healing and self-awareness. Fill up. Meaning, to become completely full or to make something full. Example, the gas tank is nearly empty, it's time to fill up before the long road trip. Example, during holidays, restaurants often fill up quickly with customers seeking festive meals. Finish up. Meaning, to complete or conclude an activity. Example, the team worked together to finish up the project before the deadline. Example, as the event finished up, attendees expressed gratitude for the informative sessions. Finish up with. Meaning, to conclude or complete with a particular action or item. Example, let's finish up with a closing statement to summarize our discussion. Example, the chef recommended finishing up with a drizzle of balsamic glaze for added flavor. Fire up. Meaning, to ignite or start something, often an engine or a conversation. Example, the chef began to fire up the grill for the evening barbecue. Example, motivational speakers aim to fire up audiences with inspiring words and energy. Firm up. meaning, to make something more definite or secure. Example, the team needed to firm up the details of the project before presenting it to the client. Example, negotiations with suppliers helped the company firm up favorable terms for the contract. Fit up, meaning, to frame or set up a structure or equipment. Example, carpenters worked diligently to fit up the stage for the upcoming theater production. Example, before opening a new store, retailers must fit up the space with shelving, displays, and other essentials. Flag up, meaning, to highlight or draw attention to a particular issue or concern. Example, the report aimed to flag up potential risks associated with the proposed business expansion. Example, during the meeting, participants were encouraged to flag up any points requiring further discussion. Flame up, meaning, to burst into flames or intensify quickly. Example, the dry grass began to flame up as the campfire spread beyond control. Example, in cooking, adding alcohol to a dish can cause it to flame up for a brief, dramatic effect. Flare up, meaning, to suddenly intensify or become more severe. Example, old conflicts may flare up again if not addressed through open communication. Example, inflammatory conditions can cause symptoms to flare up periodically. Fluff up, meaning, to shake or arrange something to make it fuller or puffier. Example, after washing, the towels were put in the dryer to fluff up and regain their softness. Example, to achieve a more voluminous look, hairstylists may use products to fluff up the hair. Fold up, meaning, to collapse or close by folding. Example, after the event, they decided to fold up the chairs and pack away the equipment. Example, the magician performed a stunning trick, causing a large table to magically fold up into a small suitcase. Follow up, meaning, to pursue or check on something previously discussed or initiated. Example, after the meeting, the manager decided to follow up on the action items to ensure progress. Example, doctors often follow up with patients to monitor their recovery and address any concerns. Free up, meaning, to release or make available for use. Example, by automating certain tasks, employees can free up time for more strategic activities. Example, the company decided to free up resources to invest in innovative projects and development. Freeze up, meaning, to become rigid or unable to move, often due to fear or anxiety. Example, public speaking can be daunting, causing some individuals to freeze up on stage. Example, when faced with unexpected questions, it's common for people to freeze up during job interviews. Freshen up. Meaning, to make something clean, neat, or more appealing. Example, after a long flight, travelers often freshen up in the airport restroom before heading to their destination. Example, homeowners may decide to freshen up their living space by rearranging furniture or adding new decor. Front up. Meaning, to appear or face someone or something without avoidance. Example, after missing the deadline, the employee had to front up and explain the reasons for the delay. Example, it takes courage to front up to mistakes and take responsibility for one's actions. Fuel up. Meaning, to fill a vehicle's gas tank or provide energy for an activity. Example, before the road trip, they decided to fuel up the car to ensure they wouldn't run out of gas. Example, athletes often fuel up on nutritious meals to provide the energy needed for optimal performance. Gang up. Meaning, to form a group or alliance, often against a common target. Example, bullies may gang up on vulnerable individuals, causing emotional distress. Example, it's important to promote inclusivity and discourage individuals from ganging up on others. Gang up against. Meaning, to collaborate with others in opposition or hostility toward a person or group. Example, the team members should not gang up against a colleague who may be struggling with a particular task. Example, in team environments, it's crucial to address conflicts rather than allowing team members to gang up against each other. Gang up on. Meaning, to unite or collaborate against someone, often for negative purposes. Example, teachers should discourage students from ganging up on classmates, promoting a positive learning environment. Example, workplace harassment occurs when colleagues gang up on an individual, creating a hostile atmosphere. Gear up. Meaning, to prepare or get ready for a specific task or situation. Example, the team needed to gear up for the upcoming competition by intensifying their training. Example, companies often gear up for product launches by increasing production and marketing efforts. Get it up. Meaning, to achieve an erection, often referring to male physiology. Example, discussing medical concerns openly is important, such as difficulties getting it up, to seek appropriate assistance. Example, in certain contexts, media portrayals can perpetuate unrealistic expectations regarding getting it up. Get up. Meaning, to rise from a sitting or lying position. Example, early risers tend to get up before sunrise to start their day with energy and productivity. Example, after a restful nap, she decided to get up and continue with her tasks. Get up to. Meaning, to engage in or participate in certain activities. Example, teenagers sometimes get up to mischief during their free time, exploring new adventures. Example, friends may get up to pranks and playful antics to add humor to social gatherings. Gin up. Meaning, to stimulate, arouse, or excite. Example, the marketing team worked hard to gin up excitement for the upcoming product launch. Example, political campaigns often use slogans and rallies to gin up support among voters. Ginger up. Meaning, to invigorate or stimulate, often with enthusiasm or energy. Example, a cup of strong coffee can ginger up your morning and help you face the day with vigor. Example, the coach delivered a motivating speech to ginger up the team before the championship game. Give it up for. Meaning, to applaud or show appreciation for someone's performance or achievement. Example, the audience was enthusiastic and ready to give it up for the talented musicians after their outstanding concert. Example, colleagues decided to give it up for their hard-working team member who successfully completed a challenging project. Give it up to. Meaning, to acknowledge or praise someone for their accomplishments or efforts. Example, in award ceremonies, it's customary to give it up to individuals who have made significant contributions to their fields. Example, teachers often give it up to students who demonstrate exceptional dedication and academic excellence. Give up. Meaning, to surrender, cease efforts, or relinquish hope. Example, even in challenging times, it's essential not to give up and continue pursuing personal and professional goals. Example, learning new skills may be challenging, but perseverance pays off for those who refuse to give up. Give up on. Meaning, to abandon hope or belief in someone or something. Example, supportive friends never give up on each other, even during difficult times. Example, teachers play a crucial role in motivating students and ensuring they don't give up on their academic journeys. Give up to. Meaning, to surrender oneself to a particular emotion, feeling, or situation. Example, in moments of deep reflection, individuals may choose to give up to the beauty and tranquility of nature. Example, some people find solace in music, allowing them to give up to the emotions conveyed by melodies and lyrics. Give yourself up. Meaning, to surrender or yield, often in a metaphorical sense. Example, in self-improvement journeys, individuals may need to give themselves up to the process of personal growth. Example, accepting feedback and being open to change requires individuals to give themselves up to constructive criticism. Go up. Meaning, to increase in quantity, value, or level. Example, demand for a product may go up during seasonal peaks, requiring manufacturers to ramp up production. Example, housing prices in popular neighborhoods often go up, making real estate investments more lucrative. Go up to. Meaning, to approach or interact with someone. Example, at social events, it's common for people to go up to each other and engage in conversations. Example, children may go up to their favorite authors at book signings to express admiration and request autographs. Goof up. Meaning, to make a mistake or error. Example, it's important to double-check documents to avoid unintentional goof ups in critical information. Example, while learning a new skill, individuals should embrace the inevitable goof ups as part of the learning process. Grass up. Meaning, similar to grass on, to report or disclose information about someone. Example, witnesses to a crime may feel a moral obligation to grass up the perpetrators and assist law enforcement. Example, encouraging a culture of transparency can discourage individuals from feeling the need to grass up their peers. Grind up. Meaning, to crush or reduce something into smaller particles. Example, coffee enthusiasts often grind up whole beans to enhance the flavor and aroma of their brews. Example, in the food industry, processors may grind up ingredients to create uniform textures in various products. Grow up. Meaning, to mature or reach adulthood. Example, parents witness their children grow up, transitioning from infancy to adolescence and eventually adulthood. Example, individuals may reflect on their childhood dreams and aspirations as they grow up and navigate adult responsibilities. Grow up on. Meaning, to be raised or nurtured with a particular environment, culture, or influence. Example, those who grow up on farms often develop a deep appreciation for agriculture and rural lifestyles. Example, people who grow up on diverse literature may have a broader perspective on different cultures and historical contexts. Grow upon. Meaning, similar to grow on, to become more liked or accepted over time. Example, a song that initially seemed unfamiliar may gradually grow upon listeners, becoming a favorite over time. Example, colleagues may grow upon each other as they collaborate on projects, discovering each other's strengths and contributions. Gussy up. Meaning, to dress up or enhance one's appearance, often in a stylish or glamorous manner. Example, attendees at formal events take the opportunity to gussy up, showcasing elegant outfits and accessories. Example, before special occasions, individuals may spend time gussying up their homes with decorations and festive touches. Hack up. Meaning, to cough forcefully or produce a sound similar to coughing. Example, after inhaling dust, individuals may hack up to clear their throats and alleviate discomfort. Example, persistent smokers often experience the need to hack up phlegm due to the effects of tobacco on respiratory health. Ham up. Meaning, to exaggerate or overact in a theatrical or humorous manner. Example, comedians may ham up their performances to elicit laughter and entertain their audience. Example, children enjoy hamming up stories, adding dramatic gestures and expressions for a more engaging storytelling experience. Hang it up. Meaning, to retire or quit a particular activity or profession. Example, after a long and successful career, individuals may choose to hang it up and enjoy their well-deserved retirement. Example, athletes often face the decision of when to hang it up and transition into new phases of their lives. Hang up. Meaning, to end a phone call by putting the receiver back on the phone. Example, when finished with a call, it's polite to hang up promptly to free the line for other users. Example, it's frustrating when telemarketers continue to talk even after you've politely tried to hang up the call. Hang up on. Meaning, to abruptly end a phone call by putting the receiver back on the phone, often in frustration. Example, disagreements can escalate if individuals hang up on each other during heated phone conversations. Example, it's important to address issues respectfully rather than resorting to hanging up on someone in professional or personal communication. Have up. Meaning, to bring someone to court for legal proceedings. Example, in legal matters, individuals may have up others to seek justice or resolution for disputes. Example, it's crucial for individuals to understand their rights and options if they are ever faced with the prospect of having up someone in a legal context. Head up. Meaning, to lead or manage a particular project, team, or initiative. Example, experienced professionals are often. Example. Head up. Meaning, to lead or manage a particular project, team, or initiative. Example, experienced professionals are often chosen to head up major projects due to their leadership skills and expertise. Example, Companies need effective leaders to head up teams and guide them towards achieving organizational goals. Heat up. Meaning, to increase in temperature or intensity. Example, as summer approaches, temperatures begin to heat up, prompting people to seek ways to stay cool and comfortable. Example, discussions about sensitive topics can quickly heat up, requiring participants to approach conversations with empathy and respect. Hinge upon. Meaning, similar to hinge on, to depend or rely heavily on a specific factor or event. Example, the success of a scientific experiment may hinge upon precise measurements and controlled conditions. Example, investment decisions often hinge upon thorough research, market trends, and accurate financial projections. Hit up. Meaning, to request or ask someone for something, often informally. Example, friends may hit up each other for advice, recommendations, or assistance when facing challenges. Example, entrepreneurs often hit up investors for funding to support the development and growth of their innovative projects. Hit up on. Meaning, similar to hit up, to request or ask someone for something, often in a more assertive or persistent manner. Example, salespeople may hit up on potential clients with persuasive pitches to encourage them to invest in products or services. Example, individuals should be cautious when others hit up on them for personal favors or financial assistance, ensuring transparency and fairness. Hit upon. Meaning, to discover or find something unexpectedly or by chance. Example, inventors sometimes hit upon groundbreaking ideas during moments of inspiration or experimentation. Example, researchers may hit upon valuable insights while conducting experiments or analyzing data, leading to significant contributions to their fields. Hold up. Meaning, to delay or hinder progress or movement. Example, traffic accidents can hold up commuters, causing delays and frustration during rush hours. Example, supply chain disruptions may hold up production schedules, leading to challenges in meeting product delivery deadlines. Hole up. Meaning, to hide or remain in a secluded place, often for safety or privacy. Example, during adverse weather conditions, people may choose to hole up in their homes to stay warm and safe. Example, fugitives may hole up in remote locations to avoid detection and capture by authorities. Hook up. Meaning, to connect or link with something, often involving technology or systems. Example, in computer networks, devices can hook up to share data, resources, and collaborate on various tasks. Example, individuals can hook up their smartphones to smart home devices, enabling convenient control and automation of household functions. Hook up to. Meaning, similar to hook up, to connect or link with something, often involving technology or systems. Example, homeowners may choose to hook up solar panels to their electrical systems to harness renewable energy for their homes. Example, businesses may hook up to cloud-based services to streamline operations and enhance data accessibility and security. Hunt up. Meaning, to actively search and find something or someone. Example, historians often hunt up primary sources and archival documents to gather accurate information for their research. Example, when facing a challenge, resourceful individuals know how to hunt up solutions, utilizing available resources and expertise. Hush up. Meaning, to keep quiet or suppress information, often in a secretive or deceptive manner. Example, some organizations may attempt to hush up internal issues to maintain a positive public image. Example, whistleblowers play a crucial role in exposing wrongdoing when organizations attempt to hush up unethical practices. Jack up. Meaning, to raise or increase, often prices, levels, or intensity. Example, economic factors can jack up the prices of commodities, affecting consumers' purchasing power. Example, excitement and anticipation can jack up the energy levels in a room, creating a vibrant and engaging atmosphere. Jazz up. Meaning, to enhance or add excitement or interest to something. Example, homeowners may jazz up their living spaces by adding vibrant colors, decorative elements, and personalized touches. Example, presentations can be jazzed up with multimedia elements, engaging visuals, and interactive components to capture the audience's attention. Juice up. Meaning, to add energy, excitement, or power to something. Example, athletes may juice up their performance with motivational rituals and routines before competing. Example, marketing campaigns aim to juice up audience engagement by incorporating creative content and interactive elements. Keep up. Meaning, to maintain or stay current with a particular pace or level. Example, in rapidly evolving industries, professionals must keep up with technological advancements to remain competitive in the job market. Example, regular maintenance and cleaning routines help homeowners keep up the appearance and functionality of their living spaces. Keep up at. Meaning, similar to keep up, to maintain or stay informed about a particular situation or development, often specific to a person or group. Example, close friends may keep up at each other's lives, supporting and celebrating milestones through regular communication. Example, Professionals in a niche industry may join specialized forums or networks to keep up at the latest trends and developments in their field. Keep up with. Meaning, similar to keep up, to maintain or stay current with a particular pace or level, often specific to a task or trend. Example, fashion enthusiasts strive to keep up with the latest trends and styles, regularly updating their wardrobes to stay fashionable. Example, project managers must keep up with project timelines and milestones to ensure successful and timely completion of deliverables. Key up. Meaning, to cause excitement or agitation, to make someone highly anxious or nervous. Example, the anticipation of a major event can key up fans, creating a buzz and heightened emotions. Example, public speaking may key up individuals who experience stage fright, leading to increased anxiety and stress before a presentation. Kick up. Meaning, to cause a commotion or stir, to generate increased activity or intensity. Example, the announcement of a major sale can kick up excitement and attract a rush of customers to the store. Example, social media influencers have the ability to kick up interest in products and trends, influencing their followers' preferences. Kiss up to. Meaning, to flatter or overly praise someone in an attempt to gain favor or approval. Example, individuals who kiss up to authority figures without genuine sincerity may find their actions transparent and ineffective. Example, in competitive environments, some may resort to kissing up to supervisors in hopes of receiving promotions or favorable treatment. Knock up. Meaning, to make someone pregnant, to become pregnant. Example, the unexpected news that she was knocked up completely changed their plans for the upcoming year. Example, despite taking precautions, they were surprised to find out she had been knocked up during their vacation. Land up in. Meaning, similar to land in, to end up in a specific place or situation, often unexpectedly. Example, due to a navigation error, they unexpectedly landed up in a scenic coastal town, turning an inconvenience into an unplanned adventure. Example, career paths can be unpredictable, and individuals may land up in industries they hadn't initially considered. Lap up. Meaning, to enjoy or appreciate something eagerly and with enthusiasm. Example, movie enthusiasts often lap up the latest film releases, discussing plot twists and character development with excitement. Example, fans of a successful book series eagerly lap up each new installment, waiting for the next chapter in the story. Large it up. Meaning, to behave extravagantly or with a sense of grandiosity, often attracting attention. Example, celebrities may large it up at red carpet events, showcasing designer outfits and enjoying the spotlight. Example, some individuals large it up during celebrations, embracing the opportunity to be the center of attention for a special occasion. Lark it up. Meaning, similar to lark about and lark around, to engage in carefree and joyful activities. Example, during festive seasons, communities lark it up with colorful decorations, lively events, and a general sense of merriment. Example, after finishing exams, students may decide to lark it up with a celebration, enjoying a break before the next academic term. Leap upon. Meaning, to eagerly seize or pounce on an opportunity or idea. Example, entrepreneurs often leap upon groundbreaking innovations, recognizing their potential for business success. Example, when presented with a chance to contribute to a meaningful project, employees should leap upon the opportunity to make a positive impact. Light up. Meaning, to illuminate or become illuminated, to brighten or become joyful. Example, the city streets light up with festive decorations during the holiday season, creating a magical atmosphere. Example, a genuine smile can light up a room, spreading warmth and positivity to those in its presence. Lighten up. Meaning, to become less serious or intense, to relax. Example, after a stressful day, it's important to lighten up, perhaps by engaging in a light-hearted activity or spending time with loved ones. Example, during a tense meeting, a well-timed joke can help lighten up the atmosphere, fostering a more positive and collaborative discussion. Limber up for. Meaning, to prepare physically, especially muscles, for an activity or exercise. Example, athletes often limber up for a game by performing stretching exercises to enhance flexibility and prevent injuries. Example, before a dance performance, dancers typically limber up for a smooth and graceful presentation on stage. Line up. Meaning, to arrange in a straight line or orderly formation. Example, students were instructed to line up outside the school, ready to enter in an organized manner. Example, event organizers work diligently to line up a diverse range of speakers for the conference, ensuring a well-rounded program. Link up. Meaning, to connect or join together, to form a link or association. Example, the two companies decided to link up to combine their expertise and resources for a mutually beneficial collaboration. Example, social media platforms enable people to link up with friends from around the world, fostering global connections. Link up with. Meaning, similar to link up, to connect or collaborate with. Example, Researchers from different universities often link up with each other to conduct joint studies and share knowledge. Example: entrepreneurs may seek to link up with experienced mentors to gain valuable insights and guidance in their business endeavors. Listen up. Meaning: a directive to pay attention and listen carefully. Example: the teacher asked the students to listen up as she announced important information about the upcoming field trip. Example: in emergency situations, it's crucial for individuals to listen up and follow instructions from authorities for their safety. Live it up. Meaning: to enjoy life to the fullest, to indulge in pleasure and excitement. Example: the newlyweds decided to live it up on their honeymoon, exploring exotic destinations and savoring every moment together. Example: retirement provides an opportunity for individuals to live it up, pursuing hobbies and activities they may have postponed during their working years. Live up to. Meaning: to fulfill or meet expectations or standards. Example: parents may encourage their children to strive to live up to their full potential, fostering a sense of self-confidence and achievement. Example: companies that consistently deliver high-quality products and services are more likely to live up to customer expectations and build loyalty. Load up. Meaning: to fill or burden with a substantial amount of something. Example: before embarking on a road trip, travelers often load up their vehicles with snacks, entertainment, and travel essentials. Example: athletes load up on carbohydrates before a competition, providing the energy needed for peak performance. Load up on. Meaning: to consume or acquire a large quantity of something. Example: health-conscious individuals may choose to load up on nutrient-dense foods to support their overall well-being and vitality. Example: before a big exam, students may load up on caffeine to stay alert and focused during extended study sessions. Lock up. Meaning: to secure or fasten with a lock, to imprison. Example: before leaving for vacation, homeowners should remember to lock up their houses to deter potential burglars. Example: the suspect was arrested and locked up, awaiting trial for charges related to the financial fraud scheme. Look up. Meaning: to search for information or references, to improve or become better. Example: students were encouraged to look up additional resources to enhance their understanding of the topic. Example: over the years, the small town has managed to look up, attracting more visitors with its revitalized downtown area. Look up to. Meaning: to admire or respect someone, to consider someone as a role model. Example: many aspiring musicians look up to the accomplished guitarist, trying to emulate his style and technique. Example, as a mentor, she inspired her students, who looked up to her as a source of guidance and inspiration. Look upon as. Meaning, to regard or consider someone or something in a particular way. Example, the elderly are often looked upon as repositories of wisdom and experience in many cultures. Example, some critics look upon the film as a masterpiece, praising its innovative storytelling and cinematography. Loosen up. Meaning, to become more relaxed or less tense, to make something less tight or rigid. Example, before the performance, the dance instructor led the class in warm-up exercises to help them loosen up. Example, after a stressful week, she decided to loosen up by spending a leisurely day at the spa. Make it up to. Meaning, to compensate or make amends for a mistake or wrongdoing. Example, after forgetting their anniversary, he wanted to make it up to his partner with a surprise weekend getaway. Example, realizing the error, the company decided to make it up to customers by offering a special discount on their next purchase. Make up. Meaning, to reconcile or patch up after a disagreement, to create or invent. Example, friends decided to make up after a misunderstanding, realizing the importance of their relationship. Example, writers often make up fictional worlds, characters, and stories as a form of creative expression. Make up for. Meaning, to compensate or offset a deficiency or loss. Example, the company offered additional benefits to make up for the inconvenience caused by a temporary service disruption. Example, a generous apology and a sincere gesture helped make up for the oversight and inconvenience experienced by the customers. Make up to. Meaning, to express affection or gain favor by being kind or attentive. Example, the child tried to make up to their upset friend by offering a heartfelt apology and a small gift. Example, in an effort to make up to his supervisor, the employee volunteered to take on additional responsibilities. Man up. Meaning, to display courage, resilience, or determination, often in the face of adversity. Example, when facing challenges, it's important to man up and confront the issues rather than avoiding them. Example, the coach encouraged the team to man up and give their best effort in the final minutes of the game. Markup. Meaning, to increase the price or value of a product or item. Example, retailers may mark up the prices of luxury items to reflect their exclusivity and perceived higher quality. Example, the artist decided to mark up the value of their limited edition prints due to increased demand and collector interest. Mash up. Meaning, to mix or combine different elements or styles to create something new or innovative. Example, DJs often mash up various songs and genres to produce unique and energetic mixes for the audience. Example, the chef decided to mash up traditional flavors with modern techniques, resulting in a culinary masterpiece that delighted diners. Measure up. Meaning, to meet or satisfy a standard or expectation, to compare favorably with others. Example, job applicants often strive to demonstrate how their skills and qualifications measure up to the requirements of the position. Example, the product underwent rigorous testing to ensure it would measure up to industry standards and consumer expectations. Measure up to. Meaning, similar to measure up, to meet or satisfy a standard or expectation. Example, the student's research project exceeded expectations, proving to measure up to the high academic standards set by the professor. Example, in the competitive market, companies must constantly innovate to measure up to changing consumer preferences and industry trends. Mess up. Meaning, to make a mistake or fail to do something correctly. Example, I accidentally messed up the recipe by adding salt instead of sugar, resulting in a rather savory cake. Example, the presentation didn't go as planned, and I felt like I really messed up in front of the entire team. Mix up. Meaning, to confuse or blend things together. Example, it's easy to mix up the twins since they look identical, but each has a distinct personality. Example, I accidentally mixed up the dates for the appointments, causing some confusion with the scheduling. Mock up. Meaning, to create a preliminary or scaled version of something for testing or demonstration. Example, the designer presented a mock-up of the new website layout to gather feedback before the final implementation. Example, before starting construction, the architect provided a mock-up of the building's design to help the client visualize the finished project. Mop up. Meaning, to clean or wipe away liquid, typically with a mop or absorbent material. Example, after the spill, the janitor quickly arrived to mop up the water and prevent any accidents. Example, the chef instructed the kitchen staff to mop up any spills immediately to maintain a safe and hygienic cooking environment. Mount up. Meaning, to accumulate or increase gradually, to rise or get on an elevated position. Example, the bills began to mount up, putting financial strain on the family, and they sought assistance to manage the situation. Example, as tensions mounted up during the negotiation, both parties realized the need for compromise to reach a resolution. Move up. Meaning, to ascend or advance to a higher position, level, or rank. Example, hard-working employees may move up within a company, taking on more responsibilities and leadership roles over time. Example, athletes who consistently perform well have the opportunity to move up in their respective rankings and compete at higher levels. Muddle up. Meaning, to mix or confuse things, to create disorder or misunderstanding. Example, be careful not to muddle up the documents, as it could lead to confusion and errors in processing. Example, the sudden change in plans muddled up the schedule, causing delays and challenges for everyone involved. Mug up. Meaning, to study intensively or cram for an exam. Example, as the final exams approached, students often mug up on their notes and textbooks to ensure a thorough understanding of the material. Example, it's not recommended to mug up the night before a presentation. Effective preparation involves consistent study and understanding over time. Mug up on. Meaning, similar to mug up, to study intensively or cram for a specific topic or subject. Example, before the exam, students often mug up on important formulas and equations to ensure they can recall them during the test. Example, the researcher decided to mug up on the latest scientific publications to stay informed about recent developments in the field. Open up. Meaning, to reveal or disclose information, emotions, or thoughts. Example, as trust grew between them, he felt comfortable enough to open up about his personal struggles and experiences. Example, encouraging team members to open up during meetings fosters a supportive and communicative work environment. Own up. Meaning, to admit responsibility or confess to something, especially a mistake or wrongdoing. Example, it's important to create a workplace culture where employees feel comfortable owning up to errors and seeking solutions together. Example, the child decided to own up to accidentally breaking the vase and apologized sincerely to their parents. Pack up. Meaning, to gather and prepare belongings or equipment for departure or storage. Example, as the camping trip came to an end, they had to quickly pack up their tents and gear before leaving the site. Example, it's essential to pack up personal items before checking out of a hotel to avoid leaving anything behind. Pair up. Meaning, to form pairs or couples, to join or associate with someone. Example, the dance instructor asked the participants to pair up for the final performance, creating visually engaging routines. Example, in challenging situations, individuals often pair up to support each other and find collaborative solutions. Pal up. Meaning, to form a close or friendly relationship, to become friends. Example, the neighbors decided to pal up and organize a community event to strengthen their bond and enhance the neighborhood spirit. Example, in unfamiliar environments, individuals often pal up with colleagues or fellow travelers for mutual support and companionship. Pass up. Meaning, to decline or reject an opportunity or offer. Example, despite the attractive job offer, he chose to pass up the opportunity to relocate, prioritizing his current work-life balance. Example, individuals sometimes regret the decisions to pass up opportunities that could have contributed to personal or professional growth. Patch up. Meaning, to repair or mend a relationship or situation after a conflict or disagreement. Example, after a heated argument, the friends decided to patch up their differences, realizing the value of their long-standing friendship. Example, couples often face challenges but can strengthen their bonds by communicating openly and working together to patch up any misunderstandings. Pep up. Meaning, to invigorate or energize someone or something. Example, the energetic music played in the gym helped to pep up the atmosphere, motivating everyone to push through their workouts. Example, a cup of strong coffee can quickly pep up a tired mind, providing a temporary boost in alertness and focus. Perk up. Meaning, similar to pep up, to become more cheerful, lively, or animated. Example, the gloomy weather improved, causing everyone's mood to perk up during the outdoor gathering. Example, a well-timed joke had the power to perk up even the most somber meetings, fostering a positive and collaborative atmosphere. Pick up. Meaning, to lift or collect something from a surface. Example, he bent down to pick up the fallen papers, preventing them from blowing away in the wind. Example, the delivery service allows customers to pick up their orders directly from the store, offering convenience and flexibility. Pick up after. Meaning, to clean or tidy a space by collecting and removing items left behind. Example, parents often find themselves picking up after their children, ensuring a neat and organized living environment. Example, after a party, the hosts spent hours picking up after guests, returning the space to its pre-celebration state. Pick up on. Meaning, to notice or become aware of subtle cues, signals, or information. Example, experienced detectives can pick up on small details that may elude others, helping them solve complex cases. Example, it's important to pick up on nonverbal cues during a conversation to understand the emotions and thoughts of the other person. Pick yourself up. Meaning, to recover emotionally or psychologically after a setback or disappointment. Example, after the defeat, the athlete gathered the strength to pick herself up, ready to face new challenges and competitions. Example, life is full of ups and downs, but the ability to pick yourself up and keep going is a key factor in personal resilience. Pile up. Meaning, to accumulate or gather in large quantities, often forming a stack or heap. Example, unattended paperwork can quickly pile up on a desk, leading to disorganization and stress. Example, in challenging situations, stressors may pile up, requiring effective coping mechanisms to maintain well-being. Pin up. Meaning, to affix or attach something using a pin, often used for posters, notices, or decorations. Example, students were encouraged to pin up their artwork on the classroom bulletin board for everyone to admire. Example, participants in the science fair eagerly awaited the chance to pin up their projects, showcasing months of hard work and innovation. Pipe up. Meaning, to start speaking or making noise, often used to describe someone suddenly joining a conversation. Example, the shy student finally found the courage to pipe up during the group discussion, sharing valuable insights. Example, as the debate heated up, various participants began to pipe up, expressing contrasting opinions on the matter. Plate up. Meaning, to arrange and serve food on plates, often in an appealing or decorative manner. Example, the chef skillfully plated up the dish, creating an enticing presentation that complemented the flavors. Example, as guests eagerly awaited their meals, the kitchen staff worked efficiently to plate up each course with precision and care. Play up. Meaning, to emphasize or highlight something, often with the intention of drawing attention or creating impact. Example, when designing the promotional materials, the team decided to play up the product's unique features to attract potential customers. Example, during the performance, the lighting was adjusted to play up the theatrical elements and enhance the overall visual experience. Play up to. Meaning, to seek approval or favor by flattering or pandering to someone's preferences. Example, some politicians may attempt to play up to specific voter demographics during election campaigns to gain support. Example, in the entertainment industry, actors may play up to the audience, engaging in playful banter or gestures to enhance the overall experience. Play upon. Meaning, to exploit or take advantage of a situation or emotion. Example, unscrupulous advertisers may attempt to play upon people's insecurities to sell products, relying on emotional manipulation. Example, in literature, skilled authors can effectively play upon readers' emotions, creating a profound impact with their storytelling techniques. Plow up. meaning, to turn over or disturb soil using a plow or similar equipment. Example, farmers plow up fields before planting crops, ensuring the soil is properly aerated and ready for cultivation. Example, construction projects may require heavy machinery to plow up the ground, preparing it for building foundations or infrastructure. Plow up. Meaning, similar to plow up, to turn over or disturb soil using a plow or similar equipment. Example, before planting a garden, it's essential to plow up the soil, ensuring it's well prepared for planting and gardening. Example, archaeologists carefully plow up specific areas to uncover buried artifacts and gain insights into historical civilizations. Pluck up. Meaning, to summon the courage or confidence to do something, often overcoming fear or hesitation. Example, after moments of self-doubt, she decided to pluck up the courage and share her innovative ideas during the team meeting. Example, public speaking can be daunting, but with practice and preparation, individuals can pluck up the confidence to address audiences effectively. Plump up. Meaning, to make something fuller, fluffier, or more rounded in appearance. Example, before serving the pancakes, she decided to plump up the whipped cream, creating a visually appealing and decadent topping. Example, pillows and cushions may require fluffing to plump them up, restoring their shape and comfort. Polish up. Meaning, to improve or refine something, often by enhancing its appearance, quality, or skills. Example, the author spent weeks polishing up the manuscript, ensuring that the writing was clear, engaging, and error-free. Example, as the event approached, the team worked diligently to polish up the final details of the presentation to impress the audience. Pony up. Meaning, to contribute or provide money, often reluctantly or under pressure. Example, when splitting the bill at the restaurant, everyone had to pony up their share of the expenses. Example, to support the charitable cause, community members were encouraged to pony up donations to make a positive impact. Pop up. Meaning, to appear or emerge suddenly, often in a surprising or unexpected manner. Example, during the hike, a variety of wildflowers would pop up, adding vibrant colors to the landscape. Example, pop-up stores and markets provide unique shopping experiences, allowing local businesses to pop up in different neighborhoods. Press upon. Meaning, to emphasize or insist strongly on a point, often in conversation or persuasion. Example, the mentor sought to press upon the importance of perseverance, encouraging the mentee to overcome challenges with resilience. Example, during negotiations, skilled negotiators may choose to press upon key terms to ensure that their priorities are acknowledged and addressed. Prey upon. Meaning, to exploit, victimize, or take advantage of someone or something. Example, unscrupulous lenders may prey upon individuals with financial difficulties, charging exorbitant interest rates. Example, in nature, some carnivorous animals prey upon weaker species as part of the natural order of the food chain. Price up. Meaning, to increase the price of something. Example, as demand for the limited edition item surged, the seller decided to price it up, reflecting its perceived higher value. Example, during economic downturns, businesses may struggle with the decision to price up their products to maintain profitability or absorb increased costs. Prop up. Meaning, to support or sustain something, often by providing assistance or reinforcement. Example, during challenging times, governments may prop up struggling industries with financial aid to prevent economic downturns. Example, to prevent the leaning tree from falling, the gardener used stakes to prop it up and maintain stability. Psych up. Meaning, to prepare mentally and emotionally for a task, challenge, or competition. Example, before entering the stage, the performer needed time to psych up, focusing on positive thoughts and building confidence. Example, athletes often engage in rituals or motivational activities to psych up before important competitions, enhancing their mental readiness. Pucker up. Meaning, to prepare for or anticipate a kiss, often by pursing the lips. Example, as the romantic scene approached in the movie, the actors had to pucker up and deliver a convincing on-screen kiss. Example, during the playful moment, the couple decided to pucker up and share a quick kiss under the mistletoe. Pull up. Meaning, to come to a stop, often in a vehicle. Example, the bus driver announced that the bus would pull up at the next station, and passengers should prepare to disembark. Example, after reaching the destination, the taxi driver chose to pull up and allow passengers to exit the vehicle safely. Put up. Meaning, to provide accommodations or shelter. Example, during their visit, friends graciously put up the guests in a comfortable guest room with all the necessary amenities. Example, the hotel was fully booked, so they had to find another place willing to put them up for the night. Put up to. Meaning, to influence or encourage someone to do something, often mischievous or daring. Example, his friends put him up to performing a stand-up comedy routine at the open mic night, challenging his stage fright. Example, Mischievous siblings might put each other up to pranks or practical jokes to keep things lively at home. Put up with. Meaning, to tolerate, endure, or accept something unpleasant or difficult. Example, despite the challenging conditions, the team decided to put up with the inconvenience to complete the mission successfully. Example, longtime friends learn to put up with each other's quirks and differences, fostering a strong and enduring bond. Queer up. Meaning, to spoil or ruin something, making it strange or unusual. Example, adding too much salt can queer up the taste of the dish, affecting the overall dining experience. Example, the unexpected turn of events threatened to queer up their well-laid plans for a smooth project launch. Rack up. Meaning, to accumulate or score points, achievements, debts, etc. Example, the talented athlete managed to rack up an impressive number of goals, becoming the top scorer of the season. Example, it's essential to monitor expenses carefully to avoid inadvertently racking up credit card debt beyond one's means. Rake up. Meaning, to collect or gather, often used in the context of bringing up old or unpleasant memories. Example, the investigative journalists sought to rake up information about the historical events that led to the controversy. Example, it's advisable not to rake up past conflicts during family gatherings, focusing instead on positive experiences and shared moments. Ramp up. Meaning, to increase or intensify, often in terms of production, efforts, or activities. Example, as demand for the product soared, the company had to ramp up production to meet customer expectations. Example, the project required additional resources, prompting the team to ramp up their efforts to ensure timely completion. Ratchet up. Meaning, to increase or escalate gradually, often referring to tension, pressure, or intensity. Example, the political disagreement began to ratchet up as opposing factions presented more compelling arguments and evidence. Example, in negotiation scenarios, parties may ratchet up their demands to gain a better position and secure favorable terms. Read up on. Meaning, to study or learn about a particular topic by reading. Example, before the interview, she made sure to read up on the latest industry trends and developments to be well prepared. Example, as a travel enthusiast, he enjoys reading up on different cultures and historical landmarks before planning a trip. Ride up. Meaning, to move higher or become positioned higher, often in the context of clothing. Example, she adjusted her skirt, which had a tendency to ride up when sitting, to ensure comfort and modesty. Example, Athletes often choose sports gear that doesn't ride up during intense physical activity to maintain focus and performance. Ring up. Meaning, to register a sale or purchase on a cash register or point of sale system. Example, the cashier efficiently rang up the items, providing a total for the customer to pay at the checkout counter. Example, retail employees are trained to quickly and accurately ring up customer purchases to maintain efficient and smooth transactions. Roll up. Meaning, to arrive or gather, often in large numbers or with enthusiasm. Example, supporters began to roll up to the stadium hours before the game, creating a vibrant and energetic atmosphere. Example, the charity event attracted community members who rolled up to contribute, making a positive impact on the cause. Roll up. Meaning, an invitation or announcement encouraging people to gather or approach. Example, the carnival barker enthusiastically called out, "Roll up! Roll up! Don't miss the spectacular show under the big top." Example, at the food festival, vendors called out, "Roll up! Try our delicious treats and experience a culinary delight." Root up. Meaning, to uproot or remove something from the ground or its original position. Example, the storm's strong winds managed to root up several trees, causing damage to the landscape and infrastructure. Example, the landscaping project required contractors to root up old shrubs and plants to make way for new and vibrant additions. Rough up. Meaning, to treat someone roughly or with physical aggression. Example, the bullies chose to rough up the smaller students, displaying intimidating and harmful behavior. Example, in certain action movies, the protagonist may need to rough up a few villains to rescue hostages and restore justice. Rub up against. Meaning, to come into contact or friction with something, often unintentionally. Example, while moving furniture, be cautious not to rub up against the walls to avoid causing damage or leaving marks. Example, in crowded spaces, it's common for people to rub up against each other, necessitating patience and understanding. Rub up on. Meaning, to review or refresh one's knowledge or skills on a particular topic. Example, before the exam, students often choose to rub up on key concepts and important theories to boost their confidence. Example, professionals in rapidly evolving fields regularly rub up on the latest industry trends and advancements to stay competitive. Run up. Meaning, to accumulate or incur, often referring to debt, expenses, or charges. Example, excessive spending on unnecessary items can cause individuals to run up credit card debt, leading to financial challenges. Example, businesses may run up expenses during periods of rapid growth, necessitating strategic financial planning to maintain stability. Run up against. Meaning, to face or encounter difficulties, challenges, or obstacles. Example, entrepreneurs often run up against unexpected hurdles when launching new ventures, requiring adaptability and resilience. Example, individuals pursuing ambitious goals may run up against skepticism or criticism from others who doubt the feasibility of their aspirations. Run up on. Meaning, to approach or come close to someone or something unexpectedly. Example, startled by the sudden appearance of a deer, the hikers realized that the animal had run up on them during their nature walk. Example, in urban settings, pedestrians need to be cautious when crossing streets to avoid being run up on by cyclists or motor vehicles. Rustle up. Meaning, to prepare or gather something quickly and resourcefully, often referring to food or a solution. Example, when unexpected guests arrived, she managed to rustle up a delicious meal using ingredients available in the pantry. Example, in challenging situations, creative problem solvers can rustle up innovative solutions to address unforeseen obstacles. Saddle up. Meaning, to prepare or get ready for a task or activity, often used informally. Example, before embarking on the long journey, they took a moment to saddle up, ensuring they had all the necessary supplies and equipment. Example, in a fast-paced work environment, employees may need to saddle up for tight deadlines and quickly changing priorities. Save up. Meaning, to accumulate or set aside money gradually for a specific purpose or future use. Example, young adults often save up money for major life events, such as purchasing a home or traveling abroad. Example, parents may encourage their children to save up their allowances to instill a sense of financial responsibility. Saw up. Meaning, to cut into pieces or parts using a saw. Example, the lumberjack skillfully sawed up the fallen tree into manageable sections for transportation and further processing. Example, in woodworking projects, craftsmen may need to saw up large sheets of plywood to create smaller components for assembly. Scale up. Meaning, to increase in size, scale, or intensity, often in the context of projects, operations, or plans. Example, with growing demand, the startup had to scale up its production capacity to meet customer needs and maintain market competitiveness. Example, successful businesses often scale up their operations by expanding into new markets or introducing additional product lines. Scout up. Meaning, to find or recruit someone or something through searching or investigation. Example, the talent scouts managed to scout up a promising young athlete with exceptional skills, eager to join their sports academy. Example: businesses looking for skilled professionals often use various channels to scout up potential candidates who align with their organizational needs. Scrape up. Meaning, similar to scrape together, referring to gathering or collecting a small amount of something. Example: the charitable organization aimed to scrape up enough donations to fund a community outreach program and provide assistance to those in need. Example: individuals planning a last-minute event may need to scrape up available resources and support to ensure its success. Screw up. Meaning, to make a mistake or error, often resulting in negative consequences. Example: the chef realized he had accidentally added the wrong ingredient, causing the dish to taste different and leading to a major screw-up in the kitchen. Example: professionals should acknowledge their mistakes promptly and work collaboratively to find solutions when a project is at risk of a significant screw-up. Sell up. Meaning, to sell one's entire stock, shares, or assets in a business or investment. Example: when retiring, business owners may choose to sell up their shares in the company, transitioning ownership to a new generation or external party. Example: investors who anticipate a downturn in the market may decide to sell up their holdings to minimize potential financial losses. Send up. Meaning, to imitate or mock someone or something humorously. Example: the comedian had a talent for sending up famous personalities, creating laughter with clever and entertaining impersonations. Example: the satirical show consistently sends up political figures, providing audiences with a humorous perspective on current events. Set up. Meaning, to establish, organize, or arrange something. Example: entrepreneurs often need to set up a solid business plan, outlining key objectives, strategies, and financial projections. Example: the event coordinator worked tirelessly to set up the venue, ensuring that everything was in place for a successful and seamless experience. Set upon. Meaning, to attack or assault someone suddenly and violently. Example: in the dark alley, the unsuspecting victim was set upon by a group of assailants, demanding valuables and causing harm. Example: wild animals may set upon smaller prey when hunting, relying on their strength and agility to secure a meal. Settle up. Meaning, to pay a debt or resolve financial obligations. Example: at the end of the dinner, each person settled up their portion of the bill, ensuring a fair distribution of expenses. Example: business partners may need to meet periodically to settle up outstanding accounts, maintaining transparency and financial accountability. Sex up. Meaning, to make something more sexually appealing, often in the context of marketing or presentation. Example: advertisers sometimes use provocative images to sex up their products and create a buzz in the market. Example: the film director decided to sex up a particular scene to generate excitement and draw attention to the movie. Shack up. Meaning, to live together as a couple without being married. Example: some couples choose to shack up before getting married to test compatibility and shared living arrangements. Example: the decision to shack up can be influenced by various factors, including cultural norms, personal beliefs, and financial considerations. Shake up. Meaning, to disrupt or make significant changes to a system, organization, or situation. Example: the new CEO aimed to shake up the company by introducing innovative strategies and reorganizing key departments for improved efficiency. Example: public protests and demonstrations can shake up political landscapes, drawing attention to social issues and demanding policy changes. Shape up. Meaning, to improve or show positive progress, often in response to criticism or challenges. Example: employees who fail to meet performance expectations may receive warnings and be given opportunities to shape up before facing disciplinary actions. Example: after a period of inconsistency, the team decided to shape up their training regimen and focus on enhancing individual and collective skills. Shoot up. Meaning, to increase rapidly in height, quantity, or intensity. Example: during a growth spurt, teenagers may experience a phase where they seem to shoot up in height over a short period. Example: economic indicators showed that the stock prices of the company began to shoot up, leading to increased investor interest. Show up. Meaning, to arrive or appear at a place or event. Example: despite the challenging weather conditions, the dedicated volunteers continued to show up for the community cleanup initiative, demonstrating their commitment to the cause. Example: it's essential to show up on time for job interviews, meetings, and appointments to make a positive impression and convey professionalism. Shut up. Meaning, to stop talking or making noise. Example: the teacher sternly instructed the students to shut up and focus on their individual assignments, restoring a quiet and productive classroom environment. Example: during an important presentation, it's crucial for the audience to shut up and listen attentively to the speaker to grasp key information and insights. Sidle up to. Meaning, to approach or move quietly and cautiously towards someone or something. Example: the cat would sidle up to its owner, seeking affection and attention in a gentle and unobtrusive manner. Example: in social settings, individuals may sidle up to a group to join the conversation or engage in a friendly interaction without interrupting. Sign up. Meaning, to register or enroll in a program, service, or activity. Example, participants eager to join the fitness classes are encouraged to sign up in advance to secure a spot due to limited availability. Example, the community event attracted a diverse crowd, with many individuals choosing to sign up for volunteer opportunities to support local initiatives. Sing up. Meaning, to enroll or register for a singing competition, choir, or musical event. Example, local talents were excited to sing up for the annual singing competition, showcasing their vocal abilities and competing for recognition. Example, schools may organize auditions for students to sing up for the choir, providing an opportunity for young singers to express their musical talents. Size up. Meaning, to assess or evaluate someone or something, often to determine suitability or compatibility. Example, before making a decision, entrepreneurs carefully size up potential business partners, considering factors like values, expertise, and reliability. Example, in competitive situations, athletes often size up their opponents, analyzing strengths and weaknesses to develop effective strategies. Skin up. Meaning, to roll a joint or cigarette. Example, in certain social settings, individuals may choose to skin up a joint, creating a relaxed atmosphere for socializing and leisure. Example, rolling tobacco enthusiasts often take pride in their ability to skin up the perfect cigarette, mastering the technique over time. Slice up. Meaning, to cut something into smaller pieces or slices. Example, before serving, the baker decided to slice up the freshly baked loaf of bread, ensuring equal portions for all customers. Example, when preparing ingredients for a salad, it's convenient to slice up vegetables into bite-sized pieces for easy consumption. Slip up. Meaning, to make a mistake or error, often due to oversight or carelessness. Example, even experienced professionals can slip up occasionally, emphasizing the importance of continuous learning and improvement. Example, when preparing important documents, it's crucial to double-check for errors to ensure a slip-up does not compromise accuracy and credibility. Slow up. Meaning, to decrease in speed or efficiency. Example, the manufacturing process began to slow up due to technical issues with the machinery, leading to delays in production. Example, during periods of economic uncertainty, certain industries may slow up as consumer demand decreases, impacting overall business activity. Smash up. Meaning, to cause extensive damage or destruction, often in a collision or accident. Example, reckless driving can lead to a car crash that may smash up vehicles, posing risks to the occupant's safety. Example, storms with strong winds have the potential to smash up buildings, trees, and other structures in their path. Snaffle up. Meaning, to grab or acquire something quickly and eagerly. Example, during the sale, shoppers rushed to snaffle up the discounted items, creating a frenzied atmosphere in the store. Example, entrepreneurs often keep an eye on emerging opportunities, ready to snaffle up innovative ideas that can propel their businesses forward. Snap up. Meaning, to acquire or purchase something quickly, often due to high demand or limited availability. Example, the concert tickets were in high demand, and fans rushed to snap up the limited number available, resulting in a sold-out show. Example, savvy investors aim to snap up promising stocks when they become available at attractive prices during market fluctuations. Snarl up. Meaning, to become entangled or congested, causing disruption or confusion. Example, traffic accidents on the highway snarled up the morning commute, leading to long delays and frustrated drivers. Example, technical glitches in the online registration system snarled up the process, requiring IT specialists to resolve the issues promptly. Sneak up on. Meaning, to approach someone or something quietly and unexpectedly. Example, the photographer managed to sneak up on the wildlife, capturing stunning images without disturbing their natural behavior. Example, startled by a sudden noise, the cat realized that another feline had managed to sneak up on it without detection. Sober up. Meaning, to become sober or less intoxicated, typically from alcohol or drugs. Example, after a night of heavy drinking, it's essential to allow time to sober up before attempting to drive or engage in activities requiring focus. Example, substance abuse treatment programs aim to help individuals sober up and overcome addiction, promoting long-term recovery. Soften up. Meaning, to make someone or something more receptive, gentle, or amenable. Example, diplomats engaged in diplomatic talks to soften up the opposing party, paving the way for constructive negotiations and compromise. Example, parents often use words of encouragement to soften up disciplinary conversations with their children, fostering open communication and understanding. Spark up. Meaning, to light a fire, flame, or conversation. Example, campers gathered around the fire pit, ready to spark up a warm and inviting campfire for an evening of storytelling and camaraderie. Example, his engaging presentation helped to spark up a lively discussion among team members, fostering collaboration and idea sharing. Speak up. meaning, to voice one's thoughts, opinions, or objections, especially when it's important to do so. Example, during meetings, it's crucial for team members to feel comfortable speaking up, sharing their insights and contributing to collective decision-making. Example, in situations where injustice is observed, individuals are encouraged to speak up and take a stand against wrongdoing, advocating for fairness and accountability. Spew up. Meaning, to vomit or regurgitate, typically used to describe the forceful expulsion of stomach contents. Example, after consuming spoiled food, he felt nauseous and had to spew up to relieve the discomfort. Example, the motion sickness became overwhelming, and she had to spew up during the turbulent boat ride. Split up. Meaning, to separate or end a relationship, often referring to romantic partners or groups. Example, after years of disagreements, the band decided to split up, pursuing individual musical endeavors. Example, despite their efforts, the couple eventually faced irreconcilable differences and chose to split up amicably. Spring up. Meaning, to emerge or appear suddenly and rapidly. Example, the unexpected success of the app caused similar applications to spring up, attempting to capitalize on the trend. Example, in response to increased demand, local businesses began to spring up, offering a variety of services to cater to the growing community. Spruce up. Meaning, to improve the appearance or condition of something, often by cleaning, decorating, or enhancing its overall appeal. Example, the homeowners decided to spruce up their outdated kitchen by installing new cabinets, countertops, and modern appliances. Example, before the important event, the team worked diligently to spruce up the venue, creating an inviting and polished atmosphere. Square up. Meaning, to settle a debt or obligation by paying the full amount owed. Example, after receiving the invoice, the client promised to square up promptly, ensuring timely payment for the services provided. Example, friends who share expenses during a trip may decide to square up at the end, dividing costs and settling any remaining balances. Squeeze up. Meaning, to move closer together or make space for someone or something in a tight area. Example, as the train became more crowded, passengers had to squeeze up to make room for others boarding. Example, the narrow path forced hikers to squeeze up against the rocks to allow a group of cyclists to pass. Stack up. Meaning, to accumulate or pile up in a neat or orderly manner. Example, the books began to stack up on the library shelves as students returned borrowed materials after exams. Example, as the paperwork continued to stack up on the desk, The employee realized it was time to organize and prioritize tasks. Stack up against. Meaning, to compare or measure one thing against another, often in terms of competition or assessment. Example, when evaluating job candidates, employers stack up their skills and experiences against the specific requirements of the position. Example, the team was confident that their performance would stack up against the competition in the upcoming tournament. Staff up. Meaning, to increase the number of personnel or employees in a workforce. Example, during the holiday season, retailers often staff up to meet the higher demand for customer service and support. Example, recognizing the project's complexity, the company decided to staff up by hiring additional experts with specialized skills. Stand up. Meaning, to rise to an upright position, often from sitting or lying down. Example, the audience applauded as the performer stood up after delivering a captivating speech. Example, the teacher asks students to stand up and introduce themselves to the class on the first day of school. Stand up for. Meaning, to defend or support a person, cause, or principle. Example, friends should stand up for each other, offering support and loyalty during challenging times. Example, the activists were determined to stand up for human rights and advocate for positive social change. Stand up to. Meaning, to resist or confront a challenge or opposition with courage and determination. Example, faced with unfair treatment, the employees decided to stand up to their employer, demanding better working conditions. Example, it's important to stand up to bullying and harassment, creating a culture of respect and inclusion. Start up. Meaning, to establish or initiate a business, organization, or project. Example, the ambitious entrepreneurs decided to start up their own tech company, aiming to disrupt the industry with innovative solutions. Example, starting up a nonprofit organization requires careful planning, passion, and a clear understanding of the mission and goals. Stay up. Meaning, to remain awake and not go to bed. Example, excitement about the upcoming event compelled her to stay up late, finalizing last-minute details and preparations. Example, during special occasions, it's common for people to stay up past their usual bedtime to celebrate and enjoy the moment. Steal up. Meaning, to approach quietly or stealthily. Example, the cat would patiently steal up to its prey, moving silently through the grass before making its final pounce. Example, the children decided to steal up to the treehouse without making a sound, hoping to surprise their friends. Steal up on. meaning, similar to steal up, indicating a quiet approach, often catching someone unaware. Example, the photographer managed to steal up on the wildlife, capturing intimate moments without disturbing their natural behavior. Example, it's essential for spies to be able to steal up on their targets without being detected to gather valuable information. Step up, meaning, to increase effort, intensity, or responsibility. Example, recognizing the need for leadership, she decided to step up and take charge of the project in the absence of the team leader. Example, in times of crisis, communities often come together, and individuals step up to support each other through challenging situations. Stick up, meaning, to point a weapon at someone in a threatening manner, demanding money or valuables. Example, in a crime novel, the antagonist may stick up a bank, creating suspense and tension in the plot. Example, the convenience store clerk bravely pressed the panic button when faced with an armed robber attempting to stick up the establishment. Stick up for, meaning, to defend or support someone in the face of criticism or opposition. Example, friends often stick up for each other, providing encouragement and defending against negative judgments from others. Example, it's important to stick up for one's beliefs and values, even if it means facing criticism or disagreement. Stiffen up, meaning, to become rigid or tense, often due to fear or anticipation. Example, the athlete felt his muscles stiffen up as he approached the starting line, preparing for the intensity of the upcoming race. Example, it's common for individuals to stiffen up in the presence of authority figures or when faced with unexpected challenges. Stir up, meaning, to provoke or incite emotions, trouble, or unrest. Example, the controversial article aimed to stir up public debate, prompting readers to critically engage with different perspectives. Example, gossip and rumors can quickly stir up trouble within a community, leading to misunderstandings and conflicts. Stitch up, meaning, to skillfully or deviously manipulate a situation, often for personal gain. Example, in political dramas, characters may conspire to stitch up their opponents, securing their own success at the expense of others. Example, unethical business practices involve attempts to stitch up competitors, undermining fair competition in the market. Stop up, meaning, to close or block an opening or passage. Example, to prevent drafts, it's essential to stop up gaps around windows and doors during the colder months. Example, a clogged drain may stop up, causing inconvenience and the need for plumbing repairs. Straighten up, meaning, to improve posture or tidy up a place. Example, after the party, it was time to straighten up the living room and put things back in their proper places. Example, the teacher instructed the students to straighten up and sit attentively as the class began. Strike up. Meaning, to initiate or begin something, like a conversation or friendship. Example, at the networking event, she decided to strike up a conversation with industry professionals to expand her professional connections. Example, musician friends often strike up impromptu jam sessions, creating beautiful melodies without any prior planning. Strike upon. Meaning, similar to strike on, indicating a sudden realization or discovery. Example, while researching historical records, the historian struck upon a long-lost letter that provided valuable insights into the past. Example, inventors throughout history have often struck upon groundbreaking ideas when experimenting with new concepts. String up. Meaning, to hang or suspend something, often in a makeshift or informal manner. Example, in preparation for the party, they decided to string up fairy lights around the backyard to create a festive atmosphere. Example, campers often string up makeshift clotheslines between trees to dry their wet gear during outdoor adventures. Stuff up. Meaning, to make a mistake or mess up a situation. Example, despite careful planning, the team managed to stuff up the project by overlooking a critical detail. Example, it's crucial to remain vigilant and avoid actions that may stuff up important negotiations or agreements. Stumble upon. Meaning, similar to stumble across, indicating a chance discovery. Example, during the archaeological dig, researchers stumbled upon ancient artifacts that provided new insights into the region's history. Example, explorers in remote areas may stumble upon hidden natural wonders that were previously unknown to the outside world. Stump up. Meaning, to contribute money or pay a share of a cost. Example, when organizing a group gift, each participant was asked to stump up a certain amount to purchase a meaningful present. Example, in a joint venture, partners need to be willing to stump up funds to cover initial expenses and ensure the project's success. Suck up. Meaning, to flatter or act subservient to gain favor or approval. Example, some people are skilled at using charm to suck up to those in positions of authority, hoping to benefit from special treatment. Example, in competitive workplaces, employees may feel pressured to suck up to their superiors to secure promotions or favorable assignments. Suck up to. Meaning, similar to suck up, indicating attempts to gain favor or approval through flattery. Example, the ambitious employee decided to suck up to the boss by praising their leadership skills and expressing admiration for the company's vision. Example, sycophantic behavior, such as sucking up to influential individuals, may lead to short-term gains but can harm relationships in the long run. Suit up. Meaning, to put on formal or specialized clothing, often for a specific purpose or occasion. Example, athletes prepare to suit up in their team uniforms before a crucial match, fostering a sense of unity and identity. Example, before attending the formal event, he had to suit up in a tailored suit to meet the dress code requirements. Sum up. Meaning, to provide a concise summary or overview of something. Example, in the concluding remarks, the speaker took a moment to sum up the main points of the presentation for clarity. Example, when writing reports, it's essential to sum up the key findings and recommendations to ensure the document is easily understood. Summon up. Meaning, to gather or bring forth a particular quality, emotion, or effort. Example, in times of adversity, individuals often summon up courage and resilience to face challenges head-on. Example, the team needed to summon up all their energy and focus to meet the tight deadline for the project. Take it upon yourself. Meaning, to assume responsibility or initiative without being asked. Example, recognizing the need for change, she decided to take it upon herself to improve efficiency in the workplace. Example, some individuals feel compelled to take it upon themselves to address social issues and contribute to positive change. Take up. Meaning, to begin a new activity, hobby, or pursuit. Example, during retirement, many individuals decide to take up gardening as a fulfilling and enjoyable pastime. Example, she decided to take up painting as a way to express her creativity and relax after work. Talk up. Meaning, to speak positively about something or someone to promote or create enthusiasm. Example, the manager decided to talk up the benefits of the new project to boost morale among the team members. Example, during the product launch, marketing efforts focused on talking up its innovative features to generate excitement among consumers. Tap up. Meaning, to approach someone with a request, often for information or assistance. Example, networking events provide opportunities for professionals to tap up industry experts and seek advice for career development. Example, when facing challenges, individuals may tap up mentors or experienced peers for guidance and support. Team up. Meaning, to collaborate or work together as a team. Example, the two companies decided to team up on a joint project, combining their expertise for a more significant impact. Example, students often team up to work on group projects, pooling their skills and knowledge to achieve shared goals. Tear up. Meaning, to rip into small pieces, typically paper or documents. Example, frustration with the failed project led him to tear up the unfinished report and start anew with a different approach. Example, tearing up old love letters can be a symbolic act of moving on and letting go of past relationships. Tee up. Meaning, to prepare or set the stage for something, often an opportunity or event. Example, the marketing team worked diligently to tee up the product launch, creating anticipation and excitement among the target audience. Example, networking events can tee up valuable connections and opportunities for professionals seeking career advancement. Think up. Meaning, to conceive or invent an idea or plan. Example, creative individuals often think up innovative solutions to problems, contributing to advancements in various fields. Example, entrepreneurs must think up. Meaning, to conceive or invent an idea or plan. Example, the creative team worked together to think up a unique and attention-grabbing marketing campaign. Example, facing a design challenge, the engineer had to think up an innovative solution to meet the project requirements. Throw up. Meaning, to vomit or expel the contents of the stomach. Example, after eating something that didn't agree with him, he had to rush to the bathroom to throw up. Example, motion sickness on the turbulent flight caused some passengers to feel nauseous and occasionally throw up. Tidy up. Meaning, to organize or clean a space, making it neat and orderly. Example, before guests arrived, she quickly tidied up the living room to create a welcoming and pleasant environment. Example, taking a few minutes each day to tidy up can prevent clutter from accumulating and maintain a tidy living space. Tie up. Meaning, to fasten or secure something with a knot or bow. Example, she decided to tie up her hair to keep it away from her face while working on the project. Example, sailors are trained to tie up various knots to secure ropes and maintain safety on the ship. Tighten up. Meaning, to make something more secure or well regulated. Example, in response to security concerns, the company decided to tighten up access controls and implement stricter protocols. Example, when facing financial challenges, it's common for individuals to tighten up their budgets and reduce unnecessary spending. Tool up. Meaning, to equip or supply with tools, often in preparation for a specific task. Example, before starting the construction project, the workers needed to tool up with the necessary equipment and machinery. Example, as technology evolves, businesses must continually tool up their employees with updated skills to remain competitive. Top up. Meaning, to refill or add more to reach the desired level or amount. Example, before heading out, she made sure to top up her water bottle to stay hydrated throughout the day. Example, to avoid interruptions during the meeting, he quickly topped up his laptop's battery. Toss up. Meaning, to be uncertain or undecided between two options. Example, the competition was so close that it could toss up either contestant as the winner until the final results were announced. Example, when it comes to choosing a restaurant, they often toss up between their favorite places. Touch up. Meaning, to improve or enhance the appearance of something, typically through minor adjustments. Example, the photographer used editing software to touch up the images, ensuring they met the desired quality standards. Example, before the event, she took a moment to touch up her makeup to look fresh and presentable. Touch upon. Meaning, to briefly mention or allude to a topic in conversation or discussion. Example, the professor's lecture will touch upon various aspects of the subject matter, providing an overview for the students. Example, during the interview, the candidate briefly touched upon their experience in previous roles. Trade up. Meaning, to exchange or replace with a more expensive or higher quality option. Example, as their business grew, they decided to trade up their office space for a larger and more prestigious location. Example, consumers may trade up their electronic devices to access advanced features and improved performance. Trade upon. Meaning, to leverage or take advantage of a particular situation, often for personal gain. Example, unethical individuals may attempt to trade upon sensitive information to manipulate financial markets. Example, in negotiations, skilled diplomats know how to trade upon common interests to foster collaboration and positive outcomes. Train up. Meaning, to educate, instruct, or prepare someone in a particular skill or field. Example, the mentor took it upon herself to train up the new employees, ensuring they were equipped with the necessary knowledge and skills. Example, parents often strive to train up their children with values, manners, and essential life skills. Trip up. Meaning, to make a mistake or encounter an obstacle that causes a setback. Example, the unexpected challenge managed to trip up the project, requiring additional time and resources for resolution. Example, Even experienced professionals can trip up occasionally, highlighting the importance of continuous learning and improvement. Trump up. Meaning, to fabricate or create a false story or charge, especially to deceive or manipulate. Example, the political opponent accused the candidate of attempting to trump up allegations to tarnish their reputation. Example, the detective suspected someone was trying to trump up evidence to divert attention from the actual perpetrator. Tuck up. Meaning, to fold or arrange oneself comfortably in bed or another resting place. Example, the child requested a bedtime story before tucking up and settling down for a peaceful night's sleep. Example, feeling exhausted after a long day, she decided to tuck herself up in a warm blanket and relax on the couch. Tune up. Meaning, to adjust or improve the performance of a musical instrument or machine. Example, before the concert, the guitarist took a moment to tune up the strings of the guitar for optimal sound quality. Example, regular maintenance is essential to tune up the car and ensure its engine performs efficiently on the road. Turn up. Meaning, to increase the volume, intensity, or level of something. Example, as the dance party began, the DJ decided to turn up the music, creating an energetic and lively atmosphere. Example, to hear the speaker clearly, participants were asked to turn up their microphones during the virtual meeting. Type up. Meaning, to prepare or produce a typed version of a handwritten or rough draft. Example, after finalizing the handwritten notes, she decided to type up a clean and polished version for professional presentation. Example, the student spent hours typing up the research paper to meet the submission requirements and maintain a neat appearance. Urge upon. Meaning, to strongly encourage or persuade someone to accept or undertake something. Example, the mentor decided to urge upon the talented student the idea of applying for the prestigious scholarship to further their education. Example, the team leader sought to urge upon the team members the importance of embracing innovation in their projects. Use up. Meaning, to deplete or consume entirely, to exhaust a resource. Example, after a busy day of work, he managed to use up all the energy stored in his body during the intense workout session. Example, it's crucial to be mindful of not overusing resources and to find sustainable ways of living that don't rapidly use up the Earth's natural reserves. Vacuum up. Meaning, to clean or collect using a vacuum cleaner. Example, the housekeeper efficiently vacuumed up the dust and debris from the carpets, leaving the rooms looking spotless. Example, as autumn leaves fell, the landscaper used a leaf vacuum to quickly vacuum up the foliage, maintaining a tidy appearance in the garden. Vamp up. Meaning, to enhance, increase, or intensify, often by making something more exciting or dynamic. Example, the marketing team decided to vamp up the promotional campaign with vibrant visuals and engaging content to attract a wider audience. Example, in preparation for the grand reopening, the chef aimed to vamp up the restaurant's menu with innovative dishes and creative presentations. Wait up. Meaning, to stay awake or remain alert until someone arrives or a specific event occurs. Example, as the parent, she decided to wait up for her teenager to return home, ensuring they arrived safely before going to bed. Example, the dedicated friends promised to wait up for each other to celebrate the New Year's countdown together. Wait upon. Meaning, to serve or attend to someone, providing assistance or fulfilling requests. Example, the butler was ready to wait upon the guests, offering them refreshments and ensuring their comfort during the social event. Example, in a traditional tea ceremony, the host takes great care to wait upon the guests, presenting tea with grace and precision. Wake up. Meaning, to awaken from sleep or become conscious after a period of rest. Example, the alarm clock rang, prompting her to wake up and start the day with enthusiasm and energy. Example, the natural sunlight streaming through the window gradually helped him wake up and embrace the morning. Walk up. Meaning, to approach or move toward a person, place, or situation on foot. Example, excited to meet old friends, she decided to walk up to the reunion venue instead of taking a taxi. Example, the curious child wanted to get a closer look at the animals, so they bravely walked up to the petting zoo. Warm up. Meaning, to increase in temperature or prepare for physical activity through exercises. Example, before the intense workout, the fitness instructor led the class through a series of warm-up exercises to prevent injuries. Example, as the sun began to rise, the chilly morning gradually started to warm up, creating a more comfortable outdoor environment. Wash up. Meaning, to clean oneself, especially the hands and face. Example, after playing in the garden, the children were instructed to wash up before coming inside the house. Example, the chef emphasized the importance of hygiene, reminding the kitchen staff to wash up thoroughly before handling food. Weigh up. Meaning, to carefully consider or evaluate options, factors, or possibilities before making a decision. Example, when choosing a career path, individuals often take the time to weigh up the pros and cons of different job opportunities. Example, investors should weigh up the potential risks and returns before making decisions about their financial portfolios. Well up. Meaning, to experience the rising of emotions, such as tears, within oneself. Example, as she listened to the heartfelt speech, emotions began to well up, and tears filled her eyes. Example, memories of the past can well up unexpectedly, bringing both joy and sadness to individuals reflecting on their life experiences. Whip up. Meaning, to create or produce something quickly, often referring to food or enthusiasm. Example, the chef could whip up a delicious meal using simple ingredients, showcasing their culinary skills. Example, the speaker aimed to whip up enthusiasm among the audience by delivering an engaging and motivational speech. Wind up. Meaning, to conclude or finish something. Example, after a successful performance, the musicians decided to wind up the concert with an encore. Example, the meeting will wind up by summarizing the key decisions and action items discussed. Wire up. Meaning, to connect with electrical wires or cables. Example, the technician needed to wire up the new equipment to ensure it functioned properly. Example, in the studio, the sound engineer had to wire up the microphones for the upcoming recording session. Wise up. Meaning, to become aware, informed, or knowledgeable, especially about a situation or deception. Example, after several failed attempts, he finally began to wise up to the scam and reported it to the authorities. Example, it's essential for consumers to wise up to the potential risks and implications before making financial decisions. Word up. Meaning, to convey information or advice. Example, as a mentor, she often took the opportunity to word up her ments on effective strategies for career advancement. Example, before starting the project, the team leader decided to word up the members on the client's expectations and priorities. Word up. Meaning, a slang expression used to confirm understanding or agreement, similar to saying I hear you or got it. Example, Person A, we need to meet at 2 p.m. for the presentation. Person B, word up. Example, when a friend shares exciting news, responding with word up indicates acknowledgement and enthusiasm. Wrap up. Meaning, to conclude or finish something. Example, as the project deadline approached, the team worked diligently to wrap up the final tasks and deliverables. Example, the speaker concluded the presentation and invited questions before officially wrapping up the event. Write up. Meaning, to compose a detailed report, summary, or documentation. Example, after conducting the experiment, the scientist took the time to write up the findings and submit them for peer review. Example, journalists are often required to write up their interviews and research to create informative and engaging articles. Zip up. Meaning, to close a zipper or fasten something with a zipper. Example, she quickly zipped up her jacket to stay warm in the chilly weather. Example, before boarding the plane, passengers are reminded to zip up their bags to prevent items from falling out during the flight.